weeks for sure, helping cover cases, but after that, if anything ever comes up, just let me know. So it's going to be real similar. I'll just kind of walk you through the process of setting up for a case, and I'll show the techs kind of a little trick on the fibers that came up. But you'll just always turn on the key right here, just like any laser. I don't know if you guys plan on just leaving your key in the laser or placing it somewhere. I kind of see it 50-50, but I usually just leave the key there so it doesn't get lost. But if you guys' policy says you want to have the key out, then go ahead and do that. The only issue that we ever had during the trial was one time the key wasn't starting. That's because the emergency stop button was pressed in. So if you're trying to turn that key and it's just not turning on, you just got to twist this emergency stop button. Okay, so that's always my number one troubleshoot. If you call me first thing in the morning and say, hey, the laser's not working, always just check this button first, okay? When you turn on the laser, you'll come to this screen. This is your home screen. So usually what most of my facilities do is they'll go lithotripsy. We're doing a stone lithotripsy. They'll set each foot pedal. So you've got 4 different options, which I'll go through in just a second. But dusting, stabilization is usually what I see set. And then they press OK. And this is where most of my doctors start. Through the evaluation, we kind of found that your doctors like some specific settings though. So if I press this home button right here, I go right back to where you started off. If you just hit presets, you've got Dr. Jessup and Dr. Malloy right there. So you just press that button, press OK, and those are the specific settings that they want every time, matched to the foot pedal so they know which one's which. Okay? I haven't worked with Dr. Bears. I'm hoping to work with him today, so we'll kind of get those settings. But if ever you don't have a starting setting for a doctor, like Dr. Bears, or if another locum comes in, lithotripsy, dusting, stabilization, okay. It's always a good place to start. Gives them an option of higher power, lower frequency, and lower power, higher frequency for your dusting settings. Once you get to this screen, we'll actually go to Dr. Jessup's because it seems like that's been kind of the most common. Say he does want to change his settings. Hey, give me a little bit more power or give me a little less frequency. You've got plus minus signs right here. So energy, frequency. And you just press those whichever way he wants to go. Sometimes people will say, hey, give me 0.8 and 8. That's a real common one. So you just press that to 0.8. Press this down to 0.8. Okay? Pretty simple. Probably pretty similar. Look, the screen might look a little different than your old one, but similar to your old one, right? Changing the frequency and the energy.
Will that change his preference, or would that just
No,
be one time?
it won't change his preference. It will just change it this screen this time. Yep. If you wanted to go back to it, say, you know what, I don't like these settings. I can't remember what my settings were. Go ahead and hit home, presets, Dr. Jessup, okay, back to where he likes it. Okay? They didn't change the settings around too much. We did probably 15 or 20 cases, and they didn't change the settings around too much. So I don't anticipate that, but sometimes they'll have a big bladder stone, they want the power to go up, or they're in a special spot in the kidney, they want it to go down a little bit. So that's really all that you guys will have to do as far as setting up the laser. Once the fiber is open, there's the channel to enter the fiber here. So it does have a little screen where if you put your hand over that, it opens the door for you. It is kind of nice sometimes when you're leaning over and you've only got one hand. But if you have 2 hands, you can also open the door yourself. Okay? Just go like that, it opens up. The fiber itself just has a little cap on it right here. You twist this cap off, which is the twist cap. And it's just got a little insert right there. You twist that all the way in. You'll know when your fiber is all the way inserted because this will change color and it will pop up on the screen what size fiber you're using, like a 272, 365, whatever it may be. Once you plug that in, you just hit OK on that fiber, and then once they're ready to go, you hit ready. It'll take about 5 beeps, and then it'll be calibrated to use that fiber. After you do that the first time, after you set ready the first time, the foot pedal actually has a button where they can do standby and ready themselves. So it's a safety thing that the staff has to do it the first time, standby ready, put it on ready. But then after that, the doctors can just control it themselves right here with the foot pedal. Any questions on that? That's really all that the staff will be doing, to set the laser up, plug the fiber, and get going. Yep.
If the laser's plugged in and that door opens, is it going to affect it at all?
No. You'll hear it clicking, banging back and forth a little bit as people are walking in front of it.
Okay.
Usually the laser is close enough to the table where people aren't walking between the laser and the table, but you will hear that noise every once in a while. It's not doing anything to the laser or the laser fiber. So the laser fiber comes in a package like this. This one's my kind of my test fiber, so it's not quite packed the same way. But the best way to open it is fold all 4 tabs down, and there's always going to be one wrap in the fiber itself. So I tried to explain this, and sometimes I didn't do a great job of explaining it during cases, I don't think. So it'll come out like this. And what you have to do is, because it's got one wrap, you'll have to go through the middle of the loop one time. Okay? So it's kind of like a fishing line. If you go the wrong way, you're actually going to start wrapping it up. So you just want to kind of hold it up like this, see where the wrap is, and just go through that middle loop one time. It's not the end of the world if you do go the wrong way. I've seen Dr. Jessup just kind of shake it a couple times, and he shakes it out. But staff will or the tech will hand this part to the nurse will plug this part in, just like your guys' old fibers, just the same way. Okay? Really the only troubleshooting that I've got, make sure that your cord's plugged in, make sure your key's turned on, and then the red emergency stop button. If it's anything besides that, just give me a call. These lasers, sometimes they are fickle. You know, sometimes they need a service tech to come check them out. We will be doing PMs on them pretty regularly, probably twice a year. You guys do have a service contract on this, so if it does go down or an extended warranty, we can fly someone in immediately or bring our tech from Montana. So we should have it always up and running very quickly.
I have a question. Did you make a long extension, or are we going to have to plug
Yes.
that in
Yep.
on the...
Nope, there's a 10-foot extension cord with it now. Yep. Yep. I didn't have that here the last week and a half because we weren't wanting anyone to use it anyways.
Right.
But yeah, it's got about 15 feet of cord now. It can go all the way around this table.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Take a couple minutes to play with the settings if you'd like to. Familiarize yourself with this before you have to use it for the first time. Ryan had one thing real fast.
Yeah, so I know for nursing home, we're pulling meds and stuff, especially for general cases like we were with Dr. Mortensen yesterday. He uses a ton of 0.25% marking with epi. We're out of the 10s and 30s with no, every day they're pulling new meds on us and stuff. And so all we have in stock are the 50s. So my question to him, or the pharmacist yesterday was, well, I'm pulling out 150. I'm sure people are already using it as a multi-dose vial because he only uses about 10 cc's. So we're pulling it out, charging the first patient for 50 cc's, and then we're giving 10 cc's for the next 5 patients. How are we charging those next patients? Or, how, as a nurse, how do you make that determination who's going to get charged for that? So I called pharmacy and said, hey, this is a situation I don't want to be super wasteful by pulling out 5 50 cc's and only using 10 cc's. So their recommendation was to go under floor stock, pull it under floor stock, and it'll be a department charge, and then you just give 10 cc's or however much per case, and then just write a note that 10 cc's given or however many were given to the field, and then that way it's just a department charge, and really the patients they get kind of a free med, if you will. So until we get the 30s back or something else, I talked to Brandy about it. She was good with it. Pharmacy, that was their recommendation, so that's where we're going to go for now on until we hear otherwise.
There should be some of the vial opened stickers at the desk.
Yeah.
So you can label
Yeah.
it.
Yep. If we're going to be doing it, we should follow the policy and procedure for sure. So.
Any questions on that?
Vial open for 24, 48 hours.
30 days, I think.
38,
30 days,
30 days.
I think so.
All right, does anyone have anything else?
I've got one more thing I wanted to tell you guys. Just like a computer, you can just turn it off immediately. You can hit the power button on your computer. But what's recommended is you hit home and just hit this power button. I didn't show you guys that, so to shut it down. I'm not going to shut it down just in case anybody wants to play around with it, but that's how the best way to shut it down is do that and then turn the key off.
Did you mention standby mode? I think I missed standby.
Usually the doctors will control that. But there's just a little, once you hit ready, it will light up, and then if it's on ready and you want to hit standby, it's just a big standby.
They have control of that
They
on the
can
footprint?
control that, yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.